Hey, welcome back to DieCash Cars. So today I'm going to be talking about 4 bangers in both sense of the word. 4 JDM casts that I feel are bangers in their own right, but just are a little bit underappreciated, are still in the shadow of some of the top tier casts out there. But I think they deserve a little bit of spotlight, especially based on what is to come. Starting off with this one, the Honda Prelude, which released back in 2020. Which makes it still a relatively new cast, but in the last 2 years, it's accomplished quite a bit. So 2 full recolor sets. We've seen it in premium as well as a Dollar General exclusive. So with this trajectory, guys, I just feel like there's a lot of good still to come from the Honda Prelude. And here in 2022, we aren't going to see it in the mainline, but we do get it in the Night Burners 5-pack, which I know a lot of people have a lot of anticipation for. I would also say that right now is the perfect opportunity to pick up this car because it is still relatively cheap. So it's under that $4 mark, other than the Dollar General exclusive, which I've seen it closer to like that $10 to $12 range. But all the other cars are $2 to $3 a piece. I'm sure if you're getting them in person at swap meets, or if you just know the local collectors, you could probably get it for a lot cheaper. But all in these solid colors, guys. This car looks really good. Like, moving forward, these earlier releases of the Honda Prelude are going to be the ones that are most sought after. Even the premium release from Modern Classics, it's still relatively cheap for a premium model. I know out of that Modern Class set, this was probably the least popular. Right now you can still get this on the secondary market for $10 to $12, which is pretty reasonable for a premium Honda. And if you want to know which one's my favorite, it's gotta be the first edition in Electron Blue. I actually regret not picking up a few more of these to add to the stash. Next up, I gotta talk about Subarus, the 22B, guys. You guys know I'm a big advocate for this car. I got a monster stash of this car in all colors, all releases. And me personally, guys, I am just a strong believer that eventually everybody's gonna realize how awesome this car is. A lot like the Skyline R34. Yes, I'm comparing this car to the Skyline R34, guys, because just like the R34, that car had a very slow start to its progression within the hobby, just like this car. But as soon as people find out how much of a legend this car is, the fact that it had a number of WRC titles in the late 90s, Colin McRae, I mean, just everything. I mean, the pure fact that there's only 424 of these things worldwide. The 22B in this perfect form that Hot Wheels created for it. I mean, just look at this first edition release. I mean, they captured it perfectly. Blue on gold. Front tampos, rear tampos. I mean, they got the wing just right. No additional tampos or anything needed. The wing itself just looks perfect. They didn't have to do any extra supports to get it to stay on there. They got the hood scoop, even front grille. I mean, this is literally the best mainline I feel that Hot Wheels has ever put out. And I think that it's only a matter of time before everybody realizes it and rushes to pick these up into their collection. But surprisingly, guys, present day, these cars, every single color and release in the last 2 years, haven't moved much in value. I mean, the first edition mainlines go for $2 to $3. You could probably get them even cheaper if you're buying them in person. And again, other than the Zamak, guys, all the other cars and all the other colors, they're still super affordable, under that $4 threshold. And I think it's a perfect pickup right now, especially if you're just getting started into the hobby. I mean, let's just look at some of the other popular Subaru casts that came and went, and now they're super sought after. So the first one that comes to mind has to be the Bug-Eye Subaru WRX STI that debuted in the Cars and Donuts Car Culture set. Full premium metal base, metal body. I mean, just perfect in all forms, guys. I mean, just look at that blue and gold combination that they captured so well with this car. I remember this car was on clearance at the Kroger stores, and now it's a $40 car. Another Subaru that I think has really gained a name for itself is the Subaru BRZ. So this one is from the Street Tuner series, car culture, full premium, full metal base and body, real riders, I mean the whole 9 yards, guys. And now this car is selling on the secondary market for $30 a piece, and again, rightfully so, because just look at all the details in this car. So you cannot tell me that the Modern Classics 22B, again, same color combination, blue, gold rims, isn't gonna be a stunner someday. There's no way that this car is gonna maintain its current price point right now at about the $15 mark. I just feel like that's too low for such a nice car. And don't forget, this car is going to be released here in 2022 as a treasure hunt. Finally, a chase piece for this car out of the 2022 NK, so definitely keep an eye out for it. So in a Hot Wheel collecting world where we really value our nostalgic Japanese classic cars like the Datsun 510 and the Nissan Skyline 2000 GTR Hakosuka, I can't imagine there isn't room for the 70 Toyota Celica, the first gen Toyota Celica. And this particular cast that Hot Wheels has made dates back to 2013, but it has a lot of ground to make up because during that time frame, Hot Wheels lost a Toyota license. No treasure hunts, no supers, no store exclusives, and that really makes me think that the best is still yet to come. I mean, as it stands right now, all of these cars are still fairly affordable, all hovering in that $3 to $5 range. The one oddball is this blue multi-pack exclusive, which is a recolor of the first edition in green and yellow. I'm not sure why, but there are a number of price spikes when you look at eBay sold listings. I've seen as high as $30 to $40, but then it kind of comes crashing back down to earth and sells for $5 to $7. But nonetheless, still a neat one to have. This one honestly has to be one of my favorites, although the green one does look pretty good too. But as far as multi-pack exclusives goes, I mean, we have seen it before. Now we're seeing it again here in 2022 in this red release. It does look identical to the red recolor from 2015. The only difference is that it's missing some of the side tampo work. And even still, oddly enough, this car still sells for roughly $4 to $5 on the secondary market, but that might just be due to it being so new still. I do anticipate a lot more continuation of this car and its lineage. I mean, for instance, we have seen this new model release, the Toyota Celica GT4 All-Track, that did pop up in the Mountain Drifters premium set. So if that's any indication, the Celica lineup is definitely here to stay in the Hot Wheels world. And we might be a little late to the game on this one, but the 1991 Mazda MX-5 Miata. It's such an awesome cast. When it came out in 2019, I remember there was a lot of buzz around it, a lot of positive as well as negative. A lot of people were saying, why are they making another Mazda Miata? Because the lineage of the Mazda Miata in Hot Wheels goes back all the way to the days of the blue card. Nonetheless, this model has really prevailed. If you look at the values of these cars right now, so the blue first edition, surprisingly guys, it has multiple sales at $15 to $16 going back all the way to July. The green GameStop exclusive, that one currently sells for about $25. The Treasure Hunt that had come out last year, that one is selling right now for about $5 to $6. Another surprising one, the 2020 release in yellow, that one is selling for $9 to $10 right now. So a little more than the $4 threshold that we're talking about in this video, but there are still some good deals. Surprisingly, the opposite end of things, the red first edition, that one still sells for about $2 to $3. The Target Red Edition, as popular as Target Red Editions are, that one's only selling for $5 right now. And then obviously you got the reused rides that came out this year, 2022, in the Rotiform graphics. I know not everybody's cup of tea, but it's still an MX-5 Miata nonetheless. I'll be perfectly honest, guys, this model caught me off guard. I didn't realize the values on it were growing as fast as they were, but now that we know, definitely keep an eye out for this cast. I'm sure there's more to come as it's still a fairly new cast. I know what you guys are all thinking. They're all mainlines. There's millions of mainlines made every year of every cast, every release. But on the flip side of that, there's also millions of collectors and more joining the hobby every day. On top of that, cars are getting opened, cars are getting dented, damaged. I mean, how many of these cards do you guys see getting made into customs nowadays? So the overall quantity of these cards continue to diminish, and the demand for them outweighs the remaining supply, which makes these cars, these casts, investable as well as highly collectible. Let me know what your thoughts are down in the comments. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time on DieCash Cars.